Our next guest has been very lucky of late with sports betting, so much so that Loto-Quebec's Mise-o-jeu app has decided to limit his betting because of it. William Nadeau says he's been limited to betting only 93 cents on certain bets on Mise-o-jeu due to success. Let's find out what's going on here. William Nadeau is on the line. William, welcome to the program.
Hey, welcome. Good morning.
So let me ask you, just how much were you betting on Mise-o-jeu on the Loto-Quebec app?
I was betting like on hockey, basketball, and football. So NHL, NFL, NBA. The most frequent times it was the three main leagues. Yeah.
And how much money were you betting?
I was betting like $100 per single bet. Things like that on player props. It was like in August and September. And at the end of the month of September, I realized that my bets were limited on player props only. So if I wanted to bet like Cole Caulfield to score a goal tonight, I couldn't place like $100 bets or wager anymore. It was like $17, $16, things like that. So I shifted to the main markets like money line, total, like just betting on Montreal Canadiens to win tonight. And it was good. I continued to have success, to make money out of it. But now, like when I made my Facebook post last week, it was like even on the main market, I couldn't like bet on $5 for the Canadiens to win a given night. So yeah.
Okay, so for our listeners there, because you said player prop bets, and not everyone knows what that means. So the player prop bets, these are bets that you will take on a certain player in a game to do certain things, right? As you mentioned, Cole Caulfield to score a goal, you can place a prop bet on that. And of course, you have main bets where you pick a team to win, sometimes with a spread or not. So those are the different types of bets that you're referring to here. How much money did you make? Before Loto-Quebec started to limit how much you could bet, how much had you brought in?
I withdrew something like a little bit less than $20,000 from Loto-Quebec's Mise-o-jeu, yeah.
So you had made $20,000, and then they say you can't. They start to limit the amount of bets. Now, Loto-Quebec doesn't comment on particular cases. They did make a statement to Journal de Montréal when they asked about this, and then they said, when they observe questionable behavior, such as when someone uses privileged information, right? So insider info, I guess, on sporting events, that it's within their right to limit bets. I guess I got to ask you again, they weren't commenting specifically on your case, but they'll say this is one of the reasons why we would limit someone's bets. Were you doing anything that's unusual, that's odd, or were you just lucky?
No, exactly. And it's what made me sad with that answer, because it's like I was cheating. I didn't have access to any insider information or things like that. I always take that example. Cole Caulfield didn't text me before a game to say, "Oh, I will score tonight," or "I will have an assist tonight." So I don't work for any professional team or have access to any information. I took all of my information on Twitter, social media. So if a reporter tweets something like, "Oh, and Nick Suzuki is injured at morning skate," now I can go take bets according to that. But I mean, that's all public knowledge.
And so you were just betting smart, you'd say? Like you were using information, and you were because sometimes Loto-Quebec, I've heard people say that they're slow to move on changing odds and that kind of stuff. Were you just taking advantage of maybe some weaknesses in how Loto-Quebec runs things?
I did, but it was like on very rare occasions. So I have an answer like the first game of the NHL season, there was a little glitch with the Utah Mammoth odds. I made like for $40 with that, things like that. So it was maybe like 2% of what I won. That was, things like little glitch and misheading and things like that. But 98% of my winnings were like normal bets, just Cole Caulfield to score a point, Nick Suzuki to have an assist, and things like that.
Now, would you describe, William, do you bet on sports as a hobby? Some people would call themselves professional sports gamblers. How do you describe yourself and how much gambling you do?
I think I would be a professional, but it's impossible because I'm limited everywhere now. So I can't really bet anymore because I was winning too much. But I mean, my dream was to be a professional sports bettor. But when Mise-o-jeu Loto-Quebec started to limit my account and limit my wager to 93 cents and things like that, I realized quickly that my dream was dead.
Okay, so let me ask you about this because you mentioned you also can't bet on other options too, right? So anyone who watches a sports game knows there are so many options now to bet on sports in Canada. Are you saying everyone has banned you? It's not just Loto-Quebec? Everyone says you're too good?
Well, not everyone, like 3 different sites, but I don't have like the motivation anymore to open another account on another site because I know I will be limited / banned quickly. So I just try to find a durable solution, something I can, do over time and always being banned, opening an account, being banned, opening an account. So I'm trying to find something that's sustainable long term. And I thought I found it with Mise-o-jeu Loto-Quebec because it's public, like it's the government and things like that. But like after 3 months, I realized it was over. So yeah, I'm still trying to find something sustainable. For now, I started like a little membership so people can pay for my bets, my picks, and I give them to everyone who wants them. So for now, it's what I found to make a little bit of money out of it. But yeah, if I want to bet myself legally right now, I don't have any options.
Let me just ask you, William, and that's incredible. Obviously, there are other ways you can make money on sports betting, like providing your insight to others. So I find that fantastic. But what does it say when anyone who gets really good, right? Anyone who knows their sports and realizes the odds and that kind of stuff, that these gambling sites, even the government sites, they'll just ban you. It certainly seems to me, what it says to me is like you can never win in gambling. Like at the end of the day, they'll never let you in.
Exactly. And the only way you can win, like on the main page of Mise-o-jeu, they promote some people who won $60,000, $70,000, but it's out of like impossible parlays. They know it's only luck. They know it's not sustainable, so they promote that. They don't promote someone like me who made $20,000 on single bets, and just pounding and grinding every day because they know it's sustainable long term, and that $20,000 could have become $200,000 over time. But the person who hit a parlay, an impossible parlay, who made $60,000 over it, they know it's not sustainable. It's just like a luck.
William, any tips on the 649 numbers?
No, I don't have inside information, like I said.
All right. Well, William, listen, it's a fascinating story. I think, one of the things that, and I'll wrap up with this, William, one of the things people sometimes say, oh, you shouldn't be talking about gambling stories on air, right? Because you don't want to give people the wrong idea. Like, just for our listeners here, you are the exception, right? Like, as someone who's successful at sports gambling, the vast majority of people are not successful like you are.
Right, like it's 1% of the people that are successful long term, and that's a message I try to spread. I'm trying to spread a lot because you need to be so much disciplined with your bets, and it's single bets, and emotionally you need to be very stable. And I'll finish with this. An example I like to give a lot. Like not everyone can be a professional gambler or can try to be, but how I see gamble for my friends or for my family or how I would recommend it, it's like when you watch a hockey game, a football game, and you want a little plus, something like to be more entertained, you place a little bet, like $5, $10, and you see it like if you go to the bar and take a beer and like it's $10, you invest to enjoy the game more, and that's it.
William, we'll leave it there. Listen, continued success if anyone will let you place a bet. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks a lot.
William Nadeau there, the professional gambler. That's how I describe him. That's having a success, too much success in the eyes of Loto-Quebec.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years. And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.